Hey, discernment listeners, Love is Blind, Season 4, Weddings. Let's watch. Okay, and then we just launch into this wedding. Now, normally I would say, we all know what's going to happen, but I've been surprised by both weddings. I don't know if this has ever happened where I've just had no idea what was going to happen.
This is like my style, Angus. This is like my style, Angus.
I know how you dress, bro.
Okay, this is like my style.
No.
Okay, then, there you go. That's all you need to say.
I'm not gonna say anything else to you, bro.
So, I don't know what's happening. All of us, in the midst of Brett and Tiffany saying a lot different things than the other people on the show, basically saying, yeah, I'm going to say yes to the altar. I mean, they're saying everything other than saying that. Tiffany seems a little bit more on the fence, but she seems definitely like she's going to say yes. But goodness gracious, I don't know what they're going to say because everyone's been surprising me thus far. If Tiffany says no, that's going to break my heart. Tell me that doesn't happen. Anyway, so everything's been going great. There's been a lot of positivity, a lot of things that we like to see before a wedding. And now Brett is arguing about his outfit, it seems.
My shirt is tight as fuck, trust me, I understand.
But this isn't your wedding.
I understand, bro. I just want to see what was wrong. Don't get angry with me.
I'm not aggro with you.
All right, that's
I'm
all
just
I'm saying.
This is my wedding. This is my important day.
I completely understand.
So
I just asked her
to have pants that fit the way that I want them to.
Oh, okay. So his pants aren't fitting him the way we haven't seen his pants. Is it that bad?
A little frustrated, had a little issue with the suit. Tailoring isn't really what I was looking for.
This should be a day of no surprises. This should be a day of planning.
Okay, so I don't know. I'm going to take a guess and say that the pants were a little loose compared to what he was hoping for, and they look loose. You would have thought that he would have tried on the suit prior to the wedding day. So did something break on the pants, or I don't know. Maybe we'll never find out. And this is in line with Tiffany's occasional making fun of Brett for being bougie, as she says. And maybe this is evidence of that, being uptight about the way he dresses. It's fine. And people have different meanings about things. People want things to be a certain way. They really need things to be a certain way, particularly at their wedding, particularly all the planning that goes in. Of course, there wasn't a lot of planning because they didn't have time to plan very much. I don't know. They're showing us snippets, and he seems to be arguing with people. I'm guessing that he tried on his pants and he's just like, oh my God, this is not what I wanted. And his support system, his friends are saying like, hey, let it go. It doesn't matter. This is your big day. Because they're thinking that he just needs a little bit of perspective and that'll help him get through the day. It sounded like he interpreted that, and I'm just taking a guess as to what was being said. He interpreted that as discounting his feelings, and a different tact might have been helpful. Like, yeah, I mean, I think the pants are fine, but I could see how it would bother you. How do you feel? It's normal to try to fix people's problems, particularly if you think that their point of view is wrong, right? But that can backfire. To offer a perspective, it can feel discounting. It can feel invalidating. And now you're no longer just talking about the pants. You're talking about him in a situation where he feels like no one is supporting him and no one is listening to him. That can be very frustrating. It's also quite likely that he's extremely stressed out. At the beginning of the wedding day, it's not uncommon for people to have full-on meltdowns of a sort that they might not be capable at any other point in their life. So it seems like maybe it's just that.
I know what to expect. I know how it fits.
Right.
I'm coming in here. I'm in the moment. I'm enjoying it. Not being surprised because I'm frustrated that my suit doesn't fit. This should not happen. This is avoidable. I could have did this myself.
I'm going to take a guess and say, given how much he's focusing on this, I mean, maybe the pants look horrific, but I'm guessing that they don't. I'm going to take a guess and say that what he's really talking about is not the pants. That he's talking about the fear of taking this leap, or he's unsure as to what Tiffany's going to say, or he has some trauma that's coming up for him, some issue, some sort of pain, and it's causing a lot of distress. If you have a really horrible day and you get really stressed out, and then you're just holding it in, you're managing, you're coping, and then all of a sudden someone cuts you off on the freeway. We can understand someone just completely exploding in that situation, even though it doesn't call for that because of how stressed out. So I'm guessing there's something going on with him, and I'm just trying to think if I were there, I would just listen and figure that, because Brett's exhibited a fair amount of maturity and resilience that I'm guessing if we just listen, he'll eventually see his way through this. I don't need to intervene. But if I felt like that wasn't true, maybe I'd try to get him away from the cameras and everyone else and just say, hey, what's going on? Tell me, how you feeling? Is there something else going on? I mean, the pants are, it's a situation. I validate that, but how you feeling? Is there some other fear or worry that you're having? Wow. So 1.5 hours till the wedding, he leaves town. Or no, I think this is a tailor nearby. The original tailor they went to was in Ballard, which is quite a drive from where they're at. Probably with traffic could be an hour and a half at least. Without traffic, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes or half an hour. But he drove into town, so he's going to a smaller tailor. Wow, he is taking this seriously. But 1.5 hours, maybe that's enough time.
This is the one with the issue,
with
and
the
we
suit.
need to take care, of course.
Yes.
You want to stand over here, we face the mirror.
This is the day of my wedding, and then I tried this on, and it's like,
Very special.
I tried this on for the first
Yeah.
time, and it's like, the pants are very,
Yes,
very wide.
it is kind of big.
Yeah, that was my suspicion, that the pants are too baggy for his tastes. I will say they certainly don't look baggy, but he can have his wishes.
So, what do you need me to do?
Nothing, just change. I will go ahead and start working.
Wow, if she gets this done, she's a miracle worker, right? Usually when you have something tailored, it takes weeks. So, wow, quite a lot of drama happening right now. And I look it up, and depending how things go, if things go well, she deserves the credit. The tailor is in North Bend, and it's called Lucia's, it's her name, Tailoring and Alterations. And if you're a Twin Peaks fan, which I definitely was back in the day, it is right next door to the cafe that they would go to for pie and coffee. And that cafe is still there. I think it's under new ownership, and I think the inside doesn't look like Twin Peaks. I think that was a TV set, but the outside is the same, looks the same.
This already feels
Okay.
infinitely better. This is great.
But-
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
my
so
pleasure.
much.
Oh, I actually started worrying. What if she makes it worse? I mean, you don't know. Okay, so, whew. And yeah, I think they do look better, actually, when I see them changed. I don't think I would have noticed, I guess, given my fashion sensibilities otherwise, but I think they do look cleaner and more, I don't know, fancy.
Tiffany, I most definitely will.
Yeah, I got slightly worried there for half a second, but yeah, of course.
From this day forward, to be your wedded husband.
Well, Brett, I absolutely will.
Yeah, okay. So I was trying to think of another couple that I was pulling for on all the shows that I watch more than Brett and Tiffany. We had Cam and Lauren, which, of course, they were pullable, if you will, pulling for them. I was definitely pulling for them, but not as much as these two. And with Amber and with Barnett, I certainly wish them well, but I don't know if I was personally invested as much as I am with Brett and Tiffany. There were other couples that ended up getting married that I felt good about, of course. Alexa and Brennan. You had Nick and Danielle, who didn't work out. You had Jarrett and Ayana, who didn't work out. Maybe it's that I can imagine myself hanging out with them more so than other individuals. Not that I would know that for sure, but in a lot of ways, Tiffany just seems like a cousin or a sister or something. She seems the way she is, it's very familiar to me, and I could absolutely imagine myself hanging out with him as well. Who knows? But it just seems that maybe that's why. They just seem like a great couple. They seem like great people. They seem like wonderful role models. They're kind. They're very regulated. They didn't at least show any kind of problems. You could argue the uptight bouginess that he has might be a very minor issue, but of course not that. But maybe it's a plus for people. So it's just great to see. I would hope that everyone likes a good success story of love and persevering and finding true love, finding each other. So it's great. And I would put money down that they will last for a very, very long time.
Cry, everything's...
I got a tear in my eye. Well, no, I don't. I'm just teasing. Remember, you're the person that has everything to offer, right?
I won't forget it.
Wait, what did you say? So there's been a lot of scenes before the wedding, Zach and Bliss. And Zach said that he really loves Bliss's mom and also likes Bliss's dad. We only saw a little snippet of their interaction, so it's possible that Zach and the dad had some good moments outside of what was on film. But the dad said, remember, you're the one who has something to offer.
Oh, no, I don't. I'm just teasing. Remember, you're the person that has everything.
Remember, you're the person that has everything to offer, right? Huh? Normally, if I heard a parent say that, I would just assume that the dad is saying that, not literally what is being said, but that he's saying, remember that you're very special and you deserve whatever you want, or he'd be lucky to have you, that kind of thing. But hearing, and not only the demeanor of the dad, I talked about this in the reaction video, for a father, for a parent, for a family member, a friend, to be concerned about someone committing to marriage for the rest of their life, potentially, with someone they met a couple months prior on a reality TV show, particularly if you're not familiar with the different types of reality TV, because a lot of reality TV is absolutely not real, right? It is absolutely faked, and everyone understands that. Whereas there are some shows where there's a lot of people on there, and the premise, in part at the very least, is honest and real. And I think that this is an example. Unless, Lauren and Cam are being paid to act like they're married, people go on this show to legit meet someone that they're going to marry. So the dad might not know about that, and so it's totally fine if the dad's like, I'm concerned about this. I don't think this is very wise. Okay, but it's the way he delivered it. That's the problem. And it looked as though Bliss was dealing with something dynamic, a personality problem with the dad that has been there often. I don't know. I'm just taking a guess. The way that Bliss reacted, the kind of triggers that seemed to be at present, the word choices that she used, Dad, I'm not dumb, these kinds of phrases. So it wasn't that he was skeptical, it was the way he delivered it. And of course, in contrast to the way the mom acted, it's a lot different. Anyway, so normally without that, I just assumed the dad wasn't saying what is at least verbatim what he's saying. But verbatim, and in light of what he said earlier and what his attitude earlier, is it's possible that dad is literally saying, Zach is a piece of crap and you are not, and you need to remember that you're better than him, or I don't know. Remember, you're the person that has everything to offer. I don't know. Maybe he'll indicate what he means by this, but what do you think he means by this?
Thing to offer, right?
I won't forget it.
Things will be great no matter what, right?
So she says, if I don't, I won't forget it. If I don't, what?
Okay, I'm with you. I love you. I know you're with me. Thank you. Okay, I'm not gonna cry. Everything's...
I got a tear in my eye. Well, no, I don't. I'm just teasing. Remember, you're the person that has everything to offer, right?
I don't.
So it is notable that the dad said that, and then the mom pretty quickly tried to change the subject to the flowers. I don't know if I'm reading into something, but I think it's quite possible that the mom is detecting some weird direction this is going in and is trying to derail the conversation. I don't know. It could just be that they're just nervous and talking about random things. So the mom says, got your flowers okay? And then Bliss says, if I don't, I won't forget it. I don't know. I can't really decipher what is being communicated. If I don't, I won't forget it. Is she saying, I feel like maybe I'm just being dumb and I'm just not understanding, and y'all are like, it's obvious that, I don't know.
In honor, in all honesty and respect, in all faith and tenderness, to live with her and cherish her in the bond of matrimony.
I'm going to take a guess and say that he's going to say yes. It just seems extremely likely, and it would be very much of a rug being pulled out from underneath Bliss if he said no. There's been no indication that he has any hesitation. Now, it'd be normal if he did because there's not a lot of time, but he is 100% in, so I imagine, or at least that's my perception, so I'm guessing he's going to say yes.
Love you so much, Bliss. I do.
Yeah, okay, that seemed like predictable. Now, Bliss is harder to predict because we just haven't seen much of them and their proclamations. You know, there were so many proclamations between Brett and Tiffany indicating that they wanted to be together. And I didn't react to this, but prior to the wedding, the morning of the wedding, Tiffany and Brett were saying a lot of things to the camera and to their family members that were basically saying that they were definitely going to say yes to the altar, which I thought was interesting that they said those things and included it in the show, because usually I think they're instructed or there's a contract or they edit it out because they want there to be drama at the altar. And there was just a lot of indication. We heard a lot from Zach along those lines that he was definitely going to say yes. For Bliss, we haven't really heard that, but given Bliss's personality, I could see her. I don't know. I could see it going either way. I could see her being absolutely a yes. I could also absolutely see her saying she's not ready. I could also. I'd have a hard time believing that she would say no. I don't even think I want to date you afterwards. So I imagine it's either yes or no, but let's continue dating. Let's see what she says.
Honor, in all honesty and respect, in all faith and tenderness, to live with him and cherish him in the bond of matrimony.
I do.
It's somehow, I don't know. She's not very. She has a good poker face, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe there were a lot of faces and things she said that were in line with this. It just seemed like she would have some hesitation given what happened, right? But, okay. So, yeah. Well, who knows about these two? I think they have a lot of things. As opposed to Brett and Tiffany, who seem to have a lot of things ironed out pretty quickly without any complications. I think for Zach and Bliss, they have some things to iron out after getting married, but there's a good possibility they will. So yeah.
Love is blind. Like, you don't need to see somebody to fall in love with them. Like, that much is obvious. I had a very intense love for Micah, but the part that I dealt with a lot was, is love enough? I wish I could have taken you with me.
Okay, they edited him right there. He's saying, is love enough? Yeah, hard to know what he means by that. You could love someone and also think, well, I don't think we're a very good couple. I don't think we have a future together. Our lives are too different. We have different goals in life. We don't want to have kids, right? That could be a deal breaker for a situation like this. I don't know. I don't know what he means by that.
As difficult as it has been for me to envision me marrying her today, it's equally as difficult for me to envision marrying her tomorrow or 10 years from now.
Okay, that is an indicator that maybe he made the right choice, and I will pose that sort of question to people because sometimes it's helpful to think that way. Like, one of the questions I'll pose to people as they're trying to decide whether or not they should continue with a relationship or end it, I will say something like, well, let's just say for the sake of argument that your relationship doesn't really change that much, and your partner doesn't change that much, you don't change that much. Are you wanting to spend the rest of your life with that person in that relationship? And it's just one question. There's a lot of different angles to this, and it doesn't necessarily indicate anything at all, but often it does. Particularly how quickly and how definitively they answer the question right there. Because when someone answers the question right away and they're just like, oh no, I can't deal with this. I don't want to deal with them. So on one hand, that's an indicator that maybe you should break up. On the other hand, maybe you give it a shot. Maybe you actually know, okay, well, things have to change, and people do change. Take it from me as a therapist. That's the whole idea of our industry, is that people can change, relationships can change, contrary to what people will say. Some people don't change, don't take the opportunity to work on changing. And what do we mean by change? Sometimes it's not a matter of changing your fundamental personality, but changing the way that you deal with things, your processes, your systems. So maybe it's an indicator that a lot has to be changed in order for you to, if someone answered that way, if they're like, oh no, I can't deal with this person, or I can't deal with the relationship the way it is, no way. To contrast that, sometimes someone will answer that way, but before answering that way, that they just won't know. They'll be like, well, I don't know what to do. I just feel like I'm on the fence about the relationship. I don't know if I should spend the rest of my life. And then I ask that question, what if nothing changes or doesn't change a lot? Would you want to spend the rest of your life with this person? And they say no. That indicates that there are two different modes that people operate within. One is in the moment, do I want to break up with this person? And most people will say no, because often there's not a huge reason to do so, right? Because abuse isn't present and this sort of thing. And also, there's a lot of consequences, negative consequences to breaking up. Not only hurting the person, but you might kind of lose something for yourself as well. I mean, there's potentially a lot of good parts of the relationship that you'll miss out on. You'll be alone. There's a lot of uncertainty. What if you don't meet someone better? What if you don't meet anybody? If you have kids and you have assets together and a marriage, there's a lot of legal wrangling. You have to disappoint friends and family. You have to change your Facebook profile. There's a lot of things that are of consequence when you make that move. So when you ask someone, do you want to break up? They immediately go to all those consequences. They're like, well, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. But then you pose it like, what if you never break up? Is that the sort of life that you want to have? It's a different mode. It's a different way of thinking about it. You're more zooming out. And if the person is like, oh no way, I cannot deal with this. I've dealt with it for too long. It's so incompatible and so unpleasant. No, I cannot deal with this the way that it is. Well, then maybe it's those barriers that the person is focusing on too much and avoiding the consequences and not really taking into account what they want. So he says, not only can I not imagine marrying her now, but I can't even imagine marrying her a year from now or 10 years from now. And I think what he's saying is there's no amount of time, I believe, he's saying, I believe there's no amount of time that we need. I just don't think it'll ever work out. There's too many differences, or I don't know, maybe the evaluation of the parenting ability or something that he had.
I wanted Paul to give his answer first because I knew that was the only thing that I needed in order to say I do. For him to show me that he was going to choose me, and he didn't.
Yeah, it certainly looked that way. It's hard to know, but it certainly looked that way, and it seemed genuine. And so she essentially is saying, I would have said yes, but I didn't want to say yes if he was going to say no. So I asked him to go first, and if he said yes, then I would have said yes. Okay, so yeah, 4 weddings, 3 yeses, and 1 yes, no. Wow. Interesting season, because we've never had that ratio, 3 out of 4. We've never had 4, right? It's usually 6. And this season's interesting because we not only had a couple of the couples break up before the wedding ceremony, which is, I think, wiser than waiting until the wedding ceremony if you can. But not only that, we saw Zach actually get back together with someone from the pods and then get married. It almost makes it more romantic that way, right? It almost makes it more special. I don't know. I guess it's all special. But, against all odds, they both took that leap even after the fact, and especially for Bliss to take that leap, right? Given that she was dumped and sad and hurt and upset. So, yeah, I did not predict that. I thought there would be one wedding, yes, and that was, of course, Tiffany and Brett. I did not think Kwame was going to say yes. I would have put money on that. I didn't think Micah and Paul would get married. I don't know which one of them was going to say no, but I would have predicted. But I don't know, that one could have gone the other way too. I wouldn't have put a lot of money that they were not going to get married. And yeah, with Bliss and Zach, that one was harder to predict. I don't know if I would have put any money down on that. I think I would have said, well, it's a kind of a coin flip at that point because we just don't know much. And you could absolutely see Bliss saying no, but let's date. But we could also say Bliss saying yes. I guess when I heard her say I do, it surprised me a little more than if she had said no, I think. Anyway. Well, the end of another season of Love is Blind. There's going to be a reunion, a live reunion on Sunday, which for me is in 2 days, and for you was months ago. So I guess tune in next time when I watch that. And, here's to Kwame and Chelsea and Tiffany and Brett and Zach and Bliss. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself. And here's to you, because you deserve it. You really, really do.